Yeah, and I think we probably will have some other smaller topics come up.
Yeah.
But I want to talk to you about camping really quick.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that sounded really interesting.
Yes. First, I want to talk. Well, let's see how much time's left on the timer. Oh, yeah, no, we're good. Okay, so camping last week, Father's Day. So we went to Duado, right, which is a river near, where we live. There's a campground there, an unmanned campground that we were super in love with. We were huge fans. And went there last weekend. It was packed. First time we've ever been there that it was packed, right? And so there literally wasn't an open spot
Damn.
the whole time, which was crazy. And so when we got there, it wasn't too bad. There's some dudes that rolled up. First had like a Gadsden flag on their tent. I was like, oh, that's what's up. Like, I like that shit. And then it happened to other flags that I didn't recognize. And I ended up having to look them up because I had never seen them before.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Proud Boys flag. It was a
Yes.
whole squad of Proud Boys.
The
And
picture you sent me was like the picture of the Proud Boys flag hanging up and then a picture of like a news article with
Yes.
the Proud Boys flying it.
Yes. So I'm obviously not scared. I'm not put off by it. The original Proud Boy was open carrying the whole time. He was wearing a kilt the second day. It was
Oh, yeah.
He had the whole thing going on. Yeah, so I wasn't mad at it. It was very interesting. I've never seen a Proud Boys flag. So I was like, hopefully they don't cause a problem. They're not like loud and raucous and whatever. Like, The first dude was old. He was like in his late 50s. So I wasn't concerned about him. It was
That's old, bro?
when he was younger. As far as like a dude to
Yeah.
cause a ruckus at a campsite,
That's
yeah.
true.
I wouldn't expect a dude in his late 50s to be loud
Yeah.
through the evening, But then there was like younger dudes that started to come. So he's obviously the head of whatever group they're in, and then there was all these younger dudes that were there kicking it with him and some of their wives and girlfriends and stuff. And then up at the front of the camp, there was a dude on a camper. And on the front of his camper, he had a flag bigger than this one.
No, sir.
That wasn't even a Gadsden flag. It was like the Book Boys Gadsden flag of like the crayon drawn snake that says "No step on snake."
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Had one that huge.
No
on the
step
front
on
of his
snake.
Trailer. Yeah. So that was really funny. And so we walked past him, and I was like, I would probably get along with this guy really good. But, yeah, it was really funny. So yeah, he had that big ass flag.
Bro, you can get patches.
There you go.
All I'm saying.
Yeah. So he had that up on his trailer.
I'll pull that up just so everybody knows what we're
It
seeing
was
here.
this one actually.
Yo, look at them kicks.
Yeah. Oh, those are kind of cool.
Those are cool. No step on snake.
Yeah, so that's the one that he had. It was pretty funny. And so it wasn't that bad, but then nighttime came. The days were great.
Okay.
All of the days we were there were great. And
But-
maybe I have a picture that I can send you that we can. Do you have Signal pulled up on your...
Hard, yeah. I
Cool.
don't have it pulled up, but I can.
Cool. That would be great. Yeah, because I have some videos that we're going to play later in the show.
Okay.
So I'll see, because I think I probably have...
Just to make sure we don't
There
run
you
into
go.
any audio issues.
Yeah, there is a picture of the boy...
The boys.
and the river that I will send to you that we can show. So it was great. The days were great. We had an awesome time. We were just there. You go. That's a picture of the river and the boy and the dog, and they're having a great time.
Good looking place.
Yeah, it was awesome. So then the night came. The first night there was a group of people there, upwind, if you will, of the Proud Boys.
Is upwind important?
It's not. Who had brought a speaker with them, like a proper
Oh,
speaker.
like a stage.
And they
from
decided
the
that
1980s.
everyone in the whole camp should listen to what they were listening to.
I hate those fucking
So
people.
that part wasn't so bad. It was the fact that they couldn't finish a song and they couldn't pick a genre of music that they wanted to listen to. And so they were
like my
stopping
phone.
songs like 2 minutes in to skip to another one, and country music, and then a fucking screamo song, and then fucking Snoop Dogg would come on, and then fucking Red Jumpsuit Apparatus would come on, and then this would come on, and then this would come on. It was horrible. So Jordan,
That's
and this
terrible.
is something I actually want to talk to you about, because when I told Trenton these stories, he definitely questioned my manhood a little bit. So Jordan and I talked a lot about it, and then she ended up going over there and asked him, like, hey, will you fucking... You got to do something, right? Because Dax is there. It's like it's hindering him from sleeping. They were totally fine. We came back, right? So Trinity gave me some weird looks when I was telling him about that.
Like,
That-
bro, you
that
didn't go over
Jordan
there?
went right. So
Probably less confrontational that way.
okay, so we'll stop here and we'll talk about it, right? Because it becomes even more important the following evening, right? So because of my stature, 6'2", 230 pounds, I'm extremely hesitant to begin an interaction like that with people because of the likelihood or potential of it escalating. Right?
Yes.
There is an added layer
Kind of unfair. It's unequitable. You're oppressed because of your size.
It got worse for me when Me Too happened. That like I didn't used to be afraid to interact with women. I grew up with all women. I've always felt more comfortable interacting with women. I now am even hesitant with that because of how quickly it could be turned into like he made me uncomfortable. This happened. He asserted his manhood, and then I don't even know it's going to happen. Right?
Asserted his manhood.
You know what I'm saying? I said asserted.
Yes.
Asserted his manhood. Asserted. Okay, I am married. Colin, thank you. Asserted his manhood.
Yep.
So I'm telling Dr. Plum this, and he was telling me he was coaching a soccer game, an adult co-ed soccer game, in which a man was posted up in like a PK or something like that to try and block a ball, and a female backed up into him and then complained to the referee that she didn't appreciate the way that he used his masculinity to try and
excuse
change
me?
the game. Dr. Plum is like, you're grown and you're playing co-ed soccer. That's how the game is played. So I'm very concerned, right? There's an added layer of me being the only person who makes money on the house, and so if something happened, I did go to jail. We're then losing money because I'm not working for however long I'm going to go to jail.
Yeah, you're thinking long-term downstream consequences.
I also carry a firearm all of the time, and so anything that happens, deadly weapon is tacked on to whatever the fuck that I've done. You know, even if I don't draw it, I have a gun on me. That's there. There's potential for a better lawyer than mine to try and up the charges, do whatever. You know, there's several layers of things that make me hesitant to be the first person to begin an interaction. Right?
Seems healthy.
We have talked about it a dozen times. We talked about it after we left the next day, and she's like, I feel the exact same way. And both times that we spoke to somebody else, I said, if something else needs to be said, I will go over the second time. But the first time, I just is better coming from Jordan.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you don't question my manhood on that. Trenton definitely was like, why would you not?
Seems like a good tactical move to me.
So and the example I gave to Trenton, I said, if you are you and I am me, and you don't know me, you're having a good time, and I come up and you feel like I've been a dick to you because of the way that I talk all of the time, which is kind of aggressive. It's very blunt. It's like if you feel like I've been a dick to you.
You certainly speak from your diaphragm.
You know what I'm saying? Like the likelihood that this escalates is much higher than if Jordan comes and asks you to be quiet because the child is sleeping.
I would say exponentially.
So that happens. They're totally fine with it. They're fine the next day. It's all good. The second day happens. Towards the evening, a dude shows up who brings a woman with him, and it's obvious that they're getting to know each other. Like they maybe met online and they decided to go camping to get to know each other, right? They also
questionable.
Really love to do crystal meth. Like just really love to do crystal meth. She talked.
Probably why they went camping.
We've been doing this show for 2.5 years now. You know exactly how much I talk in my personal life and in this life. She talked more than I could ever talk if I fucking tried.
Crystal meth, a hell of a drug.
Literally from the moment she got there, all the way through the evening, talk. My parents abused me. This happened. All my family's from here. This happened. Blah, 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 blah. And I just don't fuck with that. That's not who I am. I don't blah, 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 blah. All fucking day.
Whoa.
All fucking day. All through the night. And then it comes to nighttime. Dax is in bed. He's asleep for like probably an hour. They decide they're going to fuck. Their site in the middle of the whole campsite in a tent. Right?
And she's a screamer.
So not only can you hear them, but I swear to God, Colin. Swear to God. Their site is in the middle of the campground. In the middle of it. And it's not, people are still awake. People are walking around and they're just fucking beating cakes like it's nobody's business, dude. So Jordan eventually gets so irritated with it, she like walks over to their tent, kicking shit around rocks, you know, to like
guys.
They quiet down for a little bit. You can hear other people from the campsite, from the campground, shut up, you know, like yelling from their side, but they're not going to get up and do something. You know?
Yep.
So then we ended up going down to the river. So like I can't, you know, when she got up, I was like, I tried to stop her because I personally wouldn't feel comfortable interrupting anybody because I also just don't want to get closer to the tent. I don't want anything like that, you know, but I'm also not going to stop her. So she goes over there and does some stuff. And then we went down to the river. We just stayed down by the river until the coast was clear. And then we came back.
They can only last so long.
It was horrible, man. It was horrible. And then we went back up to the campsite and we're like, okay, we'll go to bed now. And then she's doing the same thing. She's fucking jamming. She's just jawing and jawing. It's like 11:30. She's just going. And it's a public campground, so there's a quiet time of like 10 to 7, but it's also unmanned. There's no one that works there, you know. jawing and jawing and jawing and jawing, and they're right across like the road from our site. They're like right next to us.
Oh,
you know?
boy.
So eventually, after all of that, Jordan decides that she's gonna go and talk to them. The first time she just scuffled outside of their tent, you know.
Yeah.
And so she goes over there, and she says to the woman, she's like, "Hey, like, can you guys be quiet? You know, it's fucking 11:30 or whatever. Like, my kid is right here." The guy was totally cordial, very reasonable. He's like, "Oh, you got a kid? Like, I'm really sorry. We'll try and like be better." And the girl says, "Well, I'll do what I can."
Oh.
And Jordan stops and she's like, "What?" She's like, "Well, I mean, I'll try my best. But, like, we're in the woods and shit." And Jordan says, "Well, that's fine." She said, "But we're not, though. So you're at a public campground with a quiet time of 10 o'clock. So if you can't abide by that, then you shouldn't be here."
Then you should go to the fucking woods.
So she comes back into the tent. The woman starts talking shit. Like, she's talking shit about, like, I fucking told her, and, like, I'm trying to be quiet, and blah, 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 blah. She's like, when Jordan's over there, she's like, "Oh, yeah, I get it. Like, I have kids." After she just told this man, "I don't have custody of any of my children. They're all with this person, this person, this person."
Oh, my
so,
God.
"Oh, yeah, you have kids, right?"
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. You have kids so good that you don't have them
We're
anymore.
sitting in there with the tent open because she's on the phone. She's being loud because she's on the phone organizing a drug purchase.
Yeah.
She's on the phone. She's like, "I gotta go get some of this shit because it was so good earlier. I need some more." So she's talking to a dude about buying more meth. And so as we're opening the tent to go and like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm starting to get pissed off. Right?
Yeah.
Starting to get super pissed off. They get in their car and they leave. And I fell asleep before they came back. Jordan didn't. It was horrible. We didn't see them the next day. They stayed in their tent the entire time until we left.
Just doing a bunch of crystal meth.
So we decided we're not campground people anymore. So we also discovered a new term. It's called overlanding. Do you know this term? It's a hipstery term for people who like to camp in not campsites, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I also found an app that's called iOverlander. That is a map, an interactive map of all of these overlanding sites that people have found and registered with this app.
Overlanding.
Yes.
I've never heard this term before.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just what I call camping.
Essentially, yes, because they're just non-registered places. They're places into the wood, little cutoffs, little trails, little whatever, you know. And so on this app, it tells you there's like little icons if there's water there, if there you can have a tent there or an RV there or dogs or, you know, like little icons for all this shit. Yeah, just shit like that, just spots like that. And so this app is just a list of all of them. You can check in there, tells you if there's potable water, like all of these things. So we decided that's where we're at now. We are no longer
Campground people.
campsite people. We're beyond it. It's certainly not unmanned campground people. When we were 21, that was the way to be. Now that we have a child, that is not the way to be. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
So we decided we could potentially fuck with some like state parks and stuff because those are beautiful. They're fine, you know, they're great, and there's rangers there, and they don't allow people to get fucking ruckus because they'll kick them the fuck out.
Yep.
I've been almost kicked out of a state park before, so it like that does happen. But yeah, I think the vast majority of our outside is going to be overlanding now. It's not. We've got the Tundra. It handles just fine to go anywhere that we need to go. It's gonna.
I've got an app that'll help you out. I've got some places that I can point you in the right direction to.
And I have the overlanding app, and then I have the Fish Washington app, and you can, you know, overland. You can copy the coordinates from the iOverlander app and just put it in your Maps app, and it'll take you right to wherever you're going to go. And then, like I said, then I have the the Fish Washington app, and so then I can see if there's rivers or a lake or whatever nearby that we can go and just scoop up some fish from and get some dinner and move on.
I've showed you my Onyx Hunt app before, right?
Yes.
Well, they have a bunch of different versions of this now. Let me see if I can pull it up. I believe one of them is called Onyx Off-Road,
Yeah.
and that essentially is the same deal. It shows you all these different off-road areas that you can go up and take in there, and then you just kind of learn the rules of, say, national forests and state forests and stuff
Right.
like that, and what you can and can't do there, technically. And then you just go and you find a place to go hang out, and you make shit your own, and it's pretty fantastic.
So this is the Overlander app. And
Oh,
these are
yeah.
just all places around here, and you just click on one.
Oh, yeah.
You just fucking, and it's a pull out
Pull out
by
by the river.
Two photos that you can see, and so you can see
Oh, yeah.
exactly what the amenities are going to be while you're there. And then there's all these little icons. So it's next to a river, so there's water there. There you can put a tent there. You can have a
Yep.
dog there. You can fit an RV there. All these things.
That's killer.
You can check in there so that you know if somebody is already there or not. And then there's
That's nice.
and then
I would imagine it's just the people using the app, but still, if the people using the app are using it to find those places, you'll know if, hey, we're here this weekend.
And
you'll
then-
know not to
exactly.
go to that spot.
And they'll tell you generally because people will put reviews and stuff like that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so they'll tell you whether or not it costs money, how many sites there are, how many spots there are. You know, another place. If this one is full, go down the road to here. Like that's very
killer.
common. So I think that's where we're at. Overlanding,
Graduating.
yeah,
You're going up to the next level. Because that's exactly what has always deterred me from going back to that style of camping. And it's sad because one time you can go to a place and it's great. And then you go to the next place and then it's totally packed. And then there's somebody there that's going to be an asshole and there's nothing you can do about it.
yeah.
You know, that's the gamble you take with those places versus if you go out to the middle of nowhere where there is nobody, you just remove that from the equation altogether.
And that's Jordan. The next day, we're driving home, so obviously we're talking about it, you know. And she's like, "How fucking disconnected from, from nature are you that you think a campsite is the woods?
Well,
You are at an established campground with fire pits, with tables, a box to pay for it, and you're like, oh, we're in the woods and shit.
yeah,
This
no, you're
isn't the
not.
woods and shit.
No.
That's not what this is. There are trees
There's
here.
trees?
This is not the woods and shit.
How far away are you from a paved road?
Dude, a block.
Okay.
You're not in the woods
You're not
and
in the
shit.
woods.
Yeah. But like I said, the days are great.
Mm-hmm.
Dax had a really good time. He did great. We had a good time overall. It was just those evening events that were terrible.
That's pretty horrific, though.
It was
that's
fucking
some
horrific.
stories, bro.
But we found, finally, this is like the third time I've been there and been looking, I think, and we found some really legit fish spots.
Oh,
Like I
nice.
have the one that I talked about that may or may not be good. I think you'd have to walk out into a little bit. If you could get it, put a kayak in there, then that would be a really legit
Out
spot.
by the tributary, I think, probably.
It's I don't know where it comes from, but
Hmm.
it's like if you walked across the river and then back, there was a still part of water. So I don't know
Ooh.
where it feeds from, but there's a lot of overhanging things that I think if you got out farther, there would definitely be some fish out there. And then there was another spot. I think maybe we just walked for like 10 minutes or so. At the edge of the campground, there's trails that go out into the woods that are supposedly private property. I don't know who it belongs to, doesn't matter. We hiked through it and then went back onto the river. And we ended up getting to like a very, very, very still part of the river right before it goes out into the bay. And so you can't even see it moving at that point. Yeah, so it's got to be just right up in here that we were at, because that's the campground right there around that bend, and so we were right at the end of it, or maybe it's not because that's the port of Duato and the campground is a little bit farther in. So either way,
Oh, yeah.
we found a section of the river that was damn near still, that you definitely will find fish in there. If you stand there for a while and just cast out, walk down into the river a little bit, you'll definitely get some fish in there. So
Yeah, it's all timberland
there you go.
And
So
then-
that's
and
what
some
it is.
privately owned stuff. But
Yeah. So yeah, you could even just park next to the campground
Good
and
old
walk
Duato
into the
River.
woods right there and just get down to that part of the river, and
that's killer.
you could get some good fish in there.
Because that comes all the way up from probably Gold Mountain. Duato
We
River.
post a lot of pictures and stuff like
Big
this
Beef
on
Creek
our
and
on our
stuff.
social media, so I just want to take a minute to remind you guys we have our personal social media. I am at Salt of the Street on Twitter and at alpaca_Donovan on Instagram. Colin is a Big Bird Offie on both those things. We have our Instagram at Salt of the Streets, our YouTube at Salt of the Streets, fuck YouTube, our Facebook, fuck Facebook at Salt of the Streets. We're just going to be saying fuck everybody, in a couple of years. I
point.
mean, fuck this person, fuck this person, fuck this person.
And please subscribe too.
Yeah, you can find all this information on our website. So far, that's the only place it isn't fucking throttling us. So
It's because we own it.
saltofthestreets.com. You
The
can
one
always go
place.
there and find all of our information, all of the everything, some past writings, some things like that. If you're in Bremerton, go to Skate, and you need a skateboard, go to Location Skate Shop in downtown. It's on 4th. Right now, currently, the signups are still open. If you're in Bremerton, if you want to go and play skate, you want to try and win some stuff, you can go there. Competition starts at 2 o'clock. Registration ends at 1:45. If you need a haircut, you're in Kitsap County, go down and see Swell Blended, swellblended.com. I think that's the only things that I wanted to pimp.
Location
That's pretty
Skate
much it.
Shop.
So, thank you guys for that.